Hi, it's Alaska Granny. What are 5 things you can do to prepare for an uncertain future?
Number one, you need a stockpile of fresh drinking water. You can buy them in the store, you can fill up clean containers, and then you also need a way that you can filter, purify water. Learn different ways to purify water. Boil water and add bleach to water. Add tablets to water. You can buy water filters, but make sure you get one that actually removes contaminants and not something that just removes like off flavors. You want to have a way to purify your water so that it becomes safe to drink. I also like to store other water containers. I fill them up myself, put on the lid, and I label it as water so that no one questions what's in that container. I put them under the kitchen sink, under the bathroom sink, and I have them scattered around in little nooks and crannies so that if you need water for flushing the toilet, washing your hands, cleaning a dish, or rinsing off if you still have shampoo in your hair when the water turned off, that gives you extra water to have on hand for your hygiene and sanitation needs. The next thing you need is food. You should have a pantry full of ready to eat, easy to open and use, very little preparation foods. Things like cans of chili, beefaroni, ravioli, beef stew, any of the open and eat type meals that you're willing to eat. Buy some cans of soup. All of those foods can be eaten as is, or you can serve them as a topping over rice, noodles, mashed potatoes, even just a piece of bread. And then you have a way to stretch your meal and make it more filling and give a little more variety. Have easy to prepare foods like macaroni and cheese, Knorr noodle packs, pastaroni, couscous packages, rice packages, any of the kind of just add water, do a little bit of cooking. Those are great foods to have on hand. Once you have a full prepper pantry of foods that you can open and eat or do very little cooking, that's when you really need to get big into the longest lasting foods. You want to store dried foods that can last for 30 years. Rice, beans, pasta, oatmeal. There's all kinds of foods that can last for a very long time. You can even add variety into those types of foods. You can order foods from, say, the LDS or the Mormon Church that you can buy a 6-pack of different kinds of foods. I also buy the Augustin Farms foods. You can sometimes pick them up in Walmart or order them online, and those are all very top quality foods that they can last a long time. Try to add quantities and variety into your food so that you know what you could make, what you could do, and how you can provide the meals you need for your family. I also like to rotate those foods and make meals from them occasionally so that I make sure that I still like those foods, I know what to do with them, and then you can replace them. And that keeps your stockpile fresh. You can't just buy 100 cans of food and set it aside and never think about it again. Some foods will last longer, but not all of them. Fruits and vegetables don't last as long as, say, canned meats. Many foods can be still perfectly fine to eat long past the date on the package, but not always. And that's why you want to try to rotate them within a reasonable amount of time. But if you can't, go ahead and give it an examination. Does the can look okay? It shouldn't be greasy looking. It shouldn't be bulging in any way. Nothing should look off on the can. Then you can open the can and it makes sure it does not spurt. Then you can go ahead and inspect the contents. Does it look okay? Does it smell all right? Even give it a little taste. And if anything is questionable at all, throw it away. It's not worth getting sick over $1 worth of food. You want to take care of your health, number one. And the whole point of prepping is to prolong your healthy life as long as possible. What if there are power outages? You need to have some kind of emergency lighting, everything from candles with lighters, flashlights and batteries, solar lanterns. There's all kinds of different options. And then you want to have a way that you can cook your food in an emergency. There are all kinds of little camping stoves, butane stoves, propane stoves. Maybe you have a wood stove. Maybe you have some of those very fancy backpacking stoves. You need to choose a way to cook your food that's something that you understand how to use it safely. Practice with it a few times so that you know how to use those things. You also want to think about staying warm. if you live in a very cold place. I'm a big fan of Mr. Heater, and I have a buddy heater. I provided a few to my children because they have also experienced week-long, 10-day-long power outages, and in the wintertime, you have to be able to stay warm. An important strategy is to become as self-reliant as possible. You need to learn how to grow some of your own food. You need to be reading about gardening, learning about gardening. Talk to your friends who have big gardens. Start planning a garden. Learn what seeds can grow where you live, what foods you enjoy eating. And you can even in the meantime try sprouting some things or making microgreens. You can always practice doing things like that, adding fresh food into your everyday diet and your meals, and that's going to help you become more self-sufficient. We want to have the food we need, and if we can't store all of it, we need to learn to grow some of it. The fifth thing that you need: first aid supplies, over-the-counter medicines, and the hygiene supplies that you need. Learn first aid. Figure out what are the basic medications that you actually do use and have extra amounts of those. If you have glasses, figure out how you can have an extra pair. If you have hearing aids, make sure you have batteries for that. And if you have some critical machines that keep you alive, you need to figure out how you can continue to use that. You need to find the challenges that arise with your particular life and your medical needs. I read that 48% of Americans take prescription medication. You need to figure out how you can keep that supply going. Is there something that you can stockpile that could help you with any symptoms if you can't get what you need? Talk to your doctor and your healthcare provider. Figure out how can you face the challenges if you can't get that medication. So you need to make sure that you can take the best care of your health as possible. The better prepared we are, and the more ways we figure out how to meet challenges, how to make our life better, then the better outcome we're going to have. We want to thrive, not just survive, every single day that we can. If you enjoyed my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might like it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.